David, international break over now. Some managers enjoy it, some managers don't. How did you feel about this one, especially going into it on the back of 4 games unbeaten?
Yeah, well, you've answered it, haven't you? So we really enjoyed the international break because of the start to the season we've had. I've had many other international breaks where it's not been so good, so thankful we've been able to enjoy this one. Players have worked hard during this period as well, and just hoping that all the boys who've returned are fit and well.
Are they fit and well from what you understand at the moment?
Some of them have picked a little bits of knocks and a little bit of viruses and different things. I think when you're travelling in the aeroplanes for so long. Edson Alvarez only got back on a delayed flight, I think yesterday afternoon, about 3 o'clock yesterday. So it'll be the same for many other clubs, not just for us, but it's part and parcel of international breaks.
Any updated team news ahead of Saturday? Does that mean Alvarez might be struggling a little bit?
Well, I wouldn't be giving you any updated team news, so probably not the right question to ask. I don't think many managers reply to that, but we're hoping that we have everybody fit and available, and we'll make a call a bit later on that.
And during the break, how important was it to spend the time on those players who worked with their national teams for the last couple of weeks, especially like someone like James Ward-Prowse, new to the club, to get him settled in a little bit more?
Well, I was pleased to have him because it's not that he needed any pre-season or anything. For example, he's well down the road on that, and probably a little bit unlucky not to have made England squad. But overall, we're great to have him. It gave him a chance to have a couple of days rest as well. So hopefully he'll benefit from it.
Your last press conference was before the transfer window ended. Looking back at the summer, how have you found the club's business? Are you pleased with the squad that you've assembled now?
Yeah, I'm pleased. I'm pleased with the players we've got. The club have supported and backed us in every way to get lots of good players. We sold a really good player, but hopefully we're trying to build a team and have another new team getting ready to go again.
You've also brought in a new addition in John Heitinger this week. What do you expect him to bring to your coaching staff? Well,
I've got Johnny Heitinger. Last year I lost Paul Nevin, I lost Mark Warburton, so we've got Mark Robson's come up from our under-21s. I think it was really important that we continue to sort of promote from inside the club as well. Johnny's joined, and I've also got Henry, who's been one of my analysts for the last few years. I felt deserved the opportunity to step up and join me. So it's not just Johnny who's come in. We've added to my staff behind the scenes, and the way football's going and the amount of games we've got, the much preparation we've got, I'm going to need them all.
Another player I was here on Wednesday for open training, Jesse Lingard in training. I know you spoke about him probably the week before. Mm-hmm. How have you found having him back at West Ham? How's he getting on with the rest of the players at the moment?
Jesse's doing well. He's beginning to get himself in a really good condition now. He's now in his 3rd or 4th week of training. But you've got to remember, he missed a lot of football, Jesse, from probably January. Didn't play many games, so he's probably a wee bit further down the track than maybe we'd hoped, or probably even Jesse thought. But I've got to say, he's joining in. He's doing all the football work now, and he's well on it. So hopefully we can get him back into decent shape and see how it goes from there.
So if he does get into that decent shape, what is the likelihood that you could be offering him a contract?
Well, I wouldn't want to say anything just now. We'll wait and see how he does, and if we think we can get him in the condition we want him to be in.
One player you've had to work with the last couple of weeks who wasn't with his international team, Lucas Paquetá, with everything going on around the investigation, how is he coping with that at the moment?
He's got a great character, he's a great boy. Nothing looks as if it affects him too much, so obviously it's out with our hands at the moment. He's concentrating on his football, and we are as well.
He's concentrating on the challenge of Manchester City on Saturday. I know there were a lot of links to potential summer move to Man City. Is that giving him a bit of extra motivation going into this one?
We've got a lot of good players who could play for a lot of top clubs, so he's just one of them.
Charlie?
Hi David, I wanted to ask about the captaincy. Kurt Zouma obviously has been wearing the captain's armband this season. Mm-hmm. Have you made a decision on
Yeah, Kurt will continue as captain, yes. He's done a good job. We've won 3 and drawn 1 in the opening 4 games, so yes, he'll remain as captain.
And I wanted to ask about the form. Obviously, you're going into tomorrow's game 4th this time last season it was 16th, he was sitting in the table, and in a lot of the interviews I've done with the players so far this season, they've all said the same thing, that starting this season well was going to be really important for them and their confidence. But from your point of view, how pleased have you been with not just the results but also the performances as well?
I have been, because of the level of the opposition, and obviously we've had 3 out of 4 away games in that first 4 games, which is it's a really tough call in the Premier League. Quite a few teams have had 3 at home and 1 away, so for us to have done 3 away from home is excellent. The performances in some ways have been really good. We've showed resilience and hard to play against in some of the games, but the big thing about it is, for me, is we've scored goals, and we look as if we're going to score goals at the moment, and you know, if that continues, then that will give us a great chance of picking up more points.
And just one more for me. Tomorrow there's going to be a moment of silence for the victims of the Morocco earthquake and the Libyan floods. And there were quite emotional scenes during the international break with Naif away with Morocco. Have you had a chance to speak to him just to see how he's doing?
I had a chat this morning with him, and my understanding is they were in the city where the earthquake was. And look, I think they're all pretty shaken up by the whole thing, never mind the quake itself. I think they were all shaken by the whole thing and the deaths and the way things have gone. But look, he's back in, he's training, and he seems to be okay, so hopefully he'll get over it. But it's a terrible tragedy for everybody.
Rodrigo from Paramount Plus.
Hi David,
Hi
thank
there.
you, Rodrigo from Mexico. Everyone in Mexico want to hear your opinion, and how impressed do you feel with Edson Alvarez at the moment? He's been really outstanding in the last few games. If we can have your opinion, please.
He's had a great start in the Premier League, and as an overseas player, it's never an easy thing to hit the ground running, if you want to use those words, in the Premier League. And I've got to be careful we don't speak too soon, but I think he's got off to a great start for us. He's made big impression with everybody. He's shown a brilliant mentality, character and training. Good boy, working really hard. Settled in, he speaks very good English, which is is very helpful as well. And look, we're really enjoying having him, and looking forward to finding out much more about him as we go along.
And just finally from me, on Manchester City tomorrow, Pep Guardiola has won every single title. Do you think he's the greatest manager of all times?
Between him and Sir Alex, I mean, there's lots and lots of great managers. I think Sir Alex would always challenge MD for his record. But Pep, what he's brought to football in the last 10-15 years has been incredible, and he'll continue to win trophies because he's got really good teams and good players.
Lauren, BBC One.
Hi David. Would you say players are coming into tomorrow's game on a bit of a confidence high following the success ahead of the international break?
I do, yeah. I think the players are in a real positive frame of mind, lots of confidence, and why would we not? You know, we've had some really good victories. Again, if you look at our start to the season, you know, this is our second home game. The first one was Chelsea, and our second one's Man City. So, look, maybe getting them out the way early in the season might be a good thing. Who knows? But certainly, we've had two really tough home games in this opening period.
It's getting more packed now. There's 2 weeks after September. You've still got 5 games to play in all competitions. What kind of effect did this have on you and the club? How do you deal with such a packed schedule?
Well, we've been discussing it a lot, and we're trying to make sure that we look at how we recover the players correctly, how often we think they can play. And I think it's now why we all get a lot of money from Sky and all the other outlets, I should say. And you know, we buy players so that when we get to the competitions, you've got quite strong teams in all the competitions. You know, it doesn't mean that you always play only 1 to 11. You have to use your 21, 22 players what you've got now, and hopefully we'll try and do that in the coming months, because the games are certainly taking their toll on the players when you're playing so regular.